Hey everyone, it's Jen Bengal here from Out of This World Literacy, and I have four back to school must-read books to share with you today. These are some of my absolute favorites, and since I love them so much, I thought you might too. The first book I want to share with you is called My Mouth is a Volcano, and I hope you can see it there. It's written by Julia Cook. I love all of her books. She has really great classroom community building books, so you should definitely check out more of her stuff. But I love this book because I use it to help the kids learn about classroom etiquette and avoiding all of those classroom interruptions that can come into play. I also help use this book to teach practical strategies like on how to avoid interrupting not just me, but when other students are sharing their ideas in class. And I always tell my kids, don't be a Lewis. In this book, the main character is Lewis, and he cannot stop interrupting. So it's a great book to read with all different grade levels. And then I can just be like, hey, don't be a Lewis. Wait until someone has their turn to finish sharing their thoughts. And another great thing to do is make an anchor chart on what we know interrupting to be and how we will make sure everyone has their thoughts completed before we share our next one. So that's my first book for you. The second book I absolutely love to read to kids at the beginning of the year is this one right here. It's called Miss Malarkey Leaves No Reader Behind. And in this book, it's a perfect story, especially if you have kids in your class who are struggling readers. Maybe you're reading this to fifth grade class, and there are some kids in your class who really haven't mastered their basic phonics skills yet, and they're still struggling, and they've struggled in the past and they know it. This book will help you to get your students to understand that you're not going to leave them behind, that you're going to be their person this year to help guide them and encourage them in their reading journey. So I love reading this book at the beginning of the year just to build that sense of relationship and to help the kids understand that I'm here for them and I've got their back. The third book I love to read is called Desabella. And this book is all about the student's voice level. So when you want to teach your kids how to use different voice levels, maybe in whole group or small group, or when they're working with a partner, or when it's time to be quiet. So I love reading this book to introduce the idea of our voices need to be different levels for different reasons. So we're learning about not interrupting, and now we're learning about what's our voice level control. And this is just a great book to use to introduce, what are our expectations for voice levels? And you can come up with a leveling system too and use that throughout the year to set that expectation around voice levels. The last back to school must-have book I have to share with you today is called Ira Sleeps Over. And this book is so awesome because it talks about being a little bit vulnerable. And when you're creating a classroom community of learners together, sometimes you're going to have to be a little bit vulnerable. So Ira is vulnerable in this book. He actually is going to his first sleepover and he can't decide if he should bring his teddy bear or not. And his sister keeps teasing him and saying, "Oh, your friend's going to make fun of you." And his parents keep saying, "No, they won't." And so Ira is just torn. He goes back and forth the whole book deciding, should I bring my teddy bear or should I not? And at the end, there's a really fun twist. I won't tell you about it. You'll get to see it in the book, but there's a really fun twist. And again, it's just a great way to build classroom community with your kids. And it teaches them also that their thinking is valued and safe. One thing I like to do too is encourage the kids. After I read this book, I'll have them bring in something special from home. And if they don't have something special that maybe they sleep with like a blanket or a teddy bear or something, that they can bring in something from their brother or their sister or their cousin or somebody that they know if they want to share that. And again, it creates this space that we're not going to laugh at each other and we're going to be a community together. And this is a great way to kind of build that trust, that community relationship, and get to know each other a little bit more too. So it's a super fun book to read with that follow-up activity. And I'll read this with fifth grade. I've read this with fifth graders and sixth graders, and I've had them come bring in their special items. And it's just a really fun activity to do. So those are the four back to school books that I always read to my kids at the beginning of the year. I hope that you can enjoy these with your students, and I hope that you find them helpful in building your classroom community and setting expectations at the beginning of the year. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.